Hello, welcome to the France 24 interview. We have not only one but two individuals of high talent, members of the Israeli cinema making, Karen Yedaya, who won the Golden Camera Award for Gold, My Treasure, and who recently produced the Jaffa film, which met with great success. We also have Yaël Abecassis, who's an actress, soon a director or producer as well, and who featured in the very beautiful film Kadosh as the wife of an Orthodox Jew. Today, we are not in Cannes. In fact, we are in Tel Aviv at the Franco-Israeli Forum. And we have just left a very emotional debate on the role of protest in Israeli filmmaking. And my conclusion from what I've heard, since you were in fact attacked by members in the hall, namely that I got the impression that the Israeli film turns the knife in the wound, as it were, and divides the Israeli society. It shows its courage, in fact, because in French cinema it took 30, 40 years to deal with very difficult issues. So Israeli cinema indeed is very courageous, but is somewhat marginal to a certain extent. It has met with great success abroad, less in Israel. Is that your opinion?
Well, no. As I was saying earlier, I'm not so sure, because Israeli movies are very successful in Israel as well. It's been a great year for Israeli film here. There are some films, though, that are more successful abroad than here, and the opposite as well.
For example, your last film, Jaffa, which is a kind of a Romeo and Juliet story between a Jewish woman and a Palestinian. We won't get into the story, but where we deal with the absence of citizenship for Arab citizens, etc. Is this something which met with success in Israel?
Well, less than abroad. In fact, it's only started happening just recently, so this is all new for me. I've been asking myself, I've been wondering why, and I don't have the answers as to why it's more successful in France than here, because for me the most important audience is here, and I'm really trying to figure out how I can talk about politics, how I can address politics rather radically, and still get Israeli audiences in to see the movies, and it's hard. And in this movie, there's a love story between an Arab and an Israeli woman, and I just don't know why. So it was a question for me. Maybe in a year or so, I may have the answers. But it's been okay. It's been okay.
Yaël Abecassis, you said that the film in which you played recently had incredible success in Europe. It speaks about this problem of assimilating Ethiopian Jews in Israel. But this didn't work at all in Israel. Is it because they are not that sensitive to the issue?
We, Israelis, are constantly under fire. We're constantly judged, day in, day out. We live in a state of war. So I think that for the Israelis, being criticized from within is too difficult. When criticism is manipulative, it's more understandable for them. Live and Become and Kadosh, both these movies are a criticism of the Jewish religion, in a way. And those two were never a box office success, because people don't want that here. People say, this is not the image we want to give to the outside world.
But you were told in the hall that your filmmaking, and they were addressing both of you, in fact, does wrong to Israel and is giving arguments, helping the enemy.
It's terrible in a way, but I think that, on the other hand, this is the core issue. That's what is important. I told Karen that her films, her voice in a way, is an expression of what is the world, Amatzpur. Your voice is the conscience of of the Jews in Israel. And we, Jews in Israel, are afraid. But at the same time, we watch the movies, we hear what she says, and we love Karen.
So it's useful and necessary, right? Well, do you think that today, over and beyond politics, cinema is the place for protest of the society?
Not really, no. Or not yet, rather.
Not like I'd like.
You want to go further than that?
Like what I was trying to say in the debate is that we like to think that we're making critical cinema, but sometimes I'm not so sure. For instance, Waltz with Bashir, it's a very beautiful, very interesting film. As I said, I appreciated the film, and I think it's honest, but I'm not sure that it's really critical of Israel. I think it really talks about how the soldiers are dealing with their suffering and their conscience. It's not critical, though. It doesn't criticize. It's just kind of hard for me to say this in French.
It still remains as an artistic film, right?
Movies aren't supposed to be political. I think that movies should be remembered forever. I think a movie will contribute more if it is selected for the Oscars. But what is important here is that an Arab and a Jew made this movie together and worked on it for years, even if they had no money. And this film is about the situation of Arabs in Israel. It's a political film, which is artistic as well. It's a masterpiece. And if we had more movies like this one, it would be better.
It's a political, yet not a militant film, right?
Indeed.
Today, in fact, we're meeting under tragic circumstances, because yesterday we did see the attack, a deadly attack on a boat bringing humanitarian aid, subject to
Humanitarian aid, quote unquote. It's important to underline that. It's important.
And it goes without saying that you were very affected by that. You watched the events on television. But what do you feel you have to say to the Israeli people now? Do you feel like making another film? Are you angry? What do you feel?
In fact, what I would like to see happen with the ship is something like our Exodus, if you will. Maybe the ship can provide a different viewpoint on Gaza and Gaza being closed off. You know, people who live in Gaza, because I know I have a girlfriend who lives in Gaza, and she says that everyone is forgetting Gaza. Even the Arab world is forgetting about Gaza. And the blockades around Gaza. It's not just Israel, the Egyptians as well. And as Yaël says, I think it's humanitarian aid.
Not important.
I don't know, it's not important. Because it needs to be broken down.
But for the soldiers, it is important. And I think that you're very naive, Karen, in a way, and I think you should carry on making many, many, many movies.
Well, you have a second thought about the fact that they have weapons on the boat.
There were arms on the boat. And I know that the soldiers
but they had the right to. They had the right to.
No. There's no right to do that.
Who says?
No, we say no.
Well, who are we to say no?
I don't want to get into this discussion.
Why are the Jews allowed to have armies but not the Palestinians? Why? What's the difference between the Jews and the Palestinians?
There is no difference between the Jews and the Palestinians, but there's a major difference in intentions.
No, I disagree. Oh, it means intentions. But I think not.
The difference lies in what they want, and in this case, I think we're stepping outside the boundaries of our discussion. I want to talk about movies.
You are going to be making a film very soon on Moroccan Jews, right?
It's only about movies and images. And love, all of the love you put into your movies, which is an alternative to war. And I'm going to make a movie soon because I think that the problem of the Palestinian society is so wide and so deep at the same time that I would like to express my feelings on this particular point. I'm a citizen of Israel, I live there, I'm an actress, so I think I have
the desire.
Not the desire to say, not the need. I have the instruments. The instruments to express my ideas and to try and shed some light on the problem.
And to express your love for your country in that manner, and which was questioned by people in the hall. And this is what you were trying to explain to them.
Yes, I think a lot of people are mistaken when they say that I'm against Israel. And that's not true. It's my country. It's my country. My son lives here, and I'm afraid for him, and I'm afraid for my family. And I can't live anywhere else. I don't see myself living anywhere else. Just I think that the solution lies elsewhere. The solution is not with war, but with peace.
Thank you, Yaël, Karen, for this very short meeting and dialogue. We were in Tel Aviv at the Franco-Israeli Forum. Thank you, and stay tuned for further news on France 24.